Hi, I'd like to talk with you a little bit about the history of the Leadership Challenge. The Leadership Challenge is actually the name of a book that was produced by two academics, Jim Kouzes and Barry Posner. So you may hear individuals talk about the Leadership Challenge, which is separate from the course that you're taking here at the University of Delaware. So what is the Leadership Challenge? At the University of Delaware, it's a course that you're currently enrolled in, but it's also a well-known leadership model by the same name. This model is based upon transformational leadership, which is a type of leadership that we will discuss later in the semester. This model was researched and developed more than 30 years ago by James Kouzes and Barry Posner, who are academics from Santa Clara University in California. What started as a book grew to include numerous products and services, and there is nearly a Leadership Challenge empire at this point. But the book is really based in the idea that leadership is challenging, and how do we overcome those challenges. The Leadership Challenge, the book, is known today worldwide, and it is a guide for leaders looking to improve their leadership capabilities. And one of the most significant teachings in this book is that leadership can be learned. It is not something you're born with. But there are different schools of thought, which you will learn about this semester, that do not necessarily believe that leadership can be learned. Evidence-based research, it is an evidence-based research model that asks, what did you do when you were at your personal best as a leader? So this actually started through a series of interviews, case studies, different means of gathering information and talking to leaders, successful leaders and unsuccessful leaders alike, to find out what are those characteristics that make someone an exceptional leader. This is a quote from the authors. "The Leadership Challenge is a global campaign to liberate the leader in everyone. We believe that teams, businesses, and even the world get better when ordinary people enable those around them to achieve extraordinary things." And that is a nice summary of the philosophical underpinnings of this particular book. It's a very easy to read, very accessible book that you might want to consider purchasing, borrowing from a library, or renting to read it. So the Leadership Challenge formula, if you will, is about observable behaviors, plus practice, plus feedback from followers, plus desire and persistence to succeed will lead to the effective leader. So we can see what people are doing, we can encourage them to practice different behaviors, we ask for feedback from their followers, and then if that individual is truly persistent and desires change to succeed, they will ultimately become the effective leader. So after completing thousands of interviews, case studies, and analyzing questionnaires, the 5 practices of exemplary leadership and the 10 commitments emerged. What I want to do now is just talk you through the 5 practices and the 10 commitments, and I'm going to do that in reverse order. So practice 5 is encourage the heart. And the commitments of encourage the heart are create a spirit of community and show appreciation for individual excellence. So this theme is present throughout the course of Lead 200, and it's important that you're able to make connections between the material and all 5 of the practices of exemplary leadership. The 5th being encourage the heart, which really means care about others, care about community, build a culture of collaboration and assistance. Practice 4, enable others to act, encompasses 2 commitments. Increase self-determination and develop competence, and build trust and facilitate relationships. The idea behind this is that the leader shouldn't only keep information, power, decision-making, etc. to him or herself. It's that you share that responsibility and you enable others to act. Allow individuals to develop their own sense of being, sense of purpose, sense of responsibility. Practice 3, challenge the process, is about generating small wins and learning from experience. And it's also about seizing the initiative and looking outward for innovative ways to improve. So challenge the process is actually about challenging the status quo, what is typically done. It's the ability or the desire and willingness to challenge what is usually done, what is the norm, and why we might consider doing something that isn't the norm. And this can be a very, very difficult thing for individuals to do and for individuals to accept, because change is an inherent part of challenging the process, and there's risk involved. The second practice, inspire a shared vision, with the commitments to enlist a common vision by appealing to shared aspirations and imagine exciting and ennobling possibilities. The idea is that you want individuals on your team who believe in the vision. They want to accomplish the same thing, see the same outcomes. And this is really important for leaders to recognize powerful team members. It's also important to you as an individual to recognize whether or not you are a part of a team and an organization that is the best fit for you. So it may be that you're a part of an organization that vision really isn't aligned with your internal motivations. And that's an important thing to understand, because that will lead to ultimate unrest for you. So finding an organization or team that really is aligned with your own personal vision is equally as important as a leader being sure that his or her team has a shared vision. And the first practice of exemplary leadership is model the way. The commitments include aligning actions with shared values and finding your voice and affirming shared values. So the idea behind this is you kind of anecdotally, or the typical saying, walk the walk, talk the talk. You do what you want others to do. So those are the 5 practices of exemplary leadership, as well as the 10 commitments. Finally, just to kind of sum up an additional important piece of the research from Kouzes and Posner is the top 4 characteristics that followers believe a leader should possess. So these are really universal characteristics that individuals over time and place have reported that they feel are most valuable in a strong, competent, and successful leader. Excuse me. Those top 4 characteristics are honesty, the ability to be forward-looking, competence, and inspirational. And forward-looking means to be able to predict to some extent future trends, what's on the way, what's coming, what's ahead. So finally, out of this work, there are 2 laws of leadership that are the Kouzes and Posner laws of leadership. The first is, if you don't believe in the messenger, you won't believe the message. And this is exactly it. If there's not trust, if there's not honesty or respect behind the leader, who would be ultimately the messenger, you're not likely to believe what he or she says. So if individual in your life is inconsistent, unreliable, dishonest, more than likely you aren't willing to believe anything he or she says. And the second law of leadership, according to Kouzes and Posner, is that you build a credible foundation of leadership foundation. A credible foundation, that's redundant, it's a typo, you build a credible foundation of leadership when you do what you say you will do. And it is abbreviated DWYSYWD. That is, I believe, because it is a palindrome, so what it's written, it's the same backward and forward. So I'm not sure if that's a good mnemonic device to help you remember, but it's do what you say you will do. And that again goes to the walk, talk the talk. Well, as I mentioned, the Leadership Challenge is well beyond a book in terms of the model that Kouzes and Posner posit. If you have any interest in learning more, in particular about this entire venture, the book, the additional instruments and services that are available, feel free to go to www.leadershipchallenge.com to learn more.